Megan, you might be going to jail, girl. Based on what he's saying, look, Tory may be many things. I've been to Tory's house once. I partied with Tory once. He's not my friend. We don't chit chat like that. But if he took 10 years on the chin to protect 2 black women for what he's alleging, and then ended up getting stabbed 14 times as a result, get him up out of there if he didn't do it. But what I'm saying is, Kelsey, if you did it, you need to go to jail. And Megan, if you lied on that man, I will be the first one to be there and say you need to go to jail. Now, look, if this is all just one drunk night where nobody remembers anything and somebody ended up getting shot, then say that. But she said in the documentary, he did it. Yep. There's also clips of her online saying, he shot at me from this one. I mean, her story's been changing up. Just say I was drunk and I don't remember who did it.
Smash up the likes. Subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Welcome to the Chesley Major channel, Chesley Major Media. I'm your host, Chesley Major, and we about to do a real major. Let's get into it. What's happening, fam? What's good, everybody? Blessings to all you good people out there, majors and majorettes. Welcome to Chesley Major Media. He is I and I am him, the one and only Chesley Major. And before we get started, do me a solid, smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. But I got some footage from Jason Lee. He got some direct messages because he been keeping in contact with Tory while Tory's locked up. But I ain't going to hold you. Let's get right into it.
Tory DM'd me some time ago. I never like to put receipts up, but let's go ahead and just pull it
Man, free him.
I'm going to tell you exactly what Tory said to me. Hold on. Let me go back to the pre-stabbing dates. Hold on. Okay. In the text message between Tory and I said, yo. He said, what's good? I said, how you surviving that bullshit? Wish we could have sat down before you left. I said, do you have a number? He said, what's yours? Let me move on to the text messages now. I said, how are you? How you been? He said, incredible, in very high spirits and preparing to physically come home this year. I said, when? I need to come in there and get an interview, LOL. He said, I can't say exact days, but I know I'll be home this year. I said, how long you been gone? I'm so confused by your case. He said, actually, I have a crazy plan when I get back that I think you should know and be a part of because I'm only going to do one interview. And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be a part of that plan. He said, it's honestly a bunch of suppressed evidence that was kept away from me during trial. I said, Wack told me that, but didn't say what. He said, like, through trial, they keep saying it was inconclusive on the gun DNA, but I always knew I never touched the gun, so I asked my lawyer to retest it, and sure enough, I was 102% excluded completely from everything, just like I said. I said, well, why didn't you just say who did it? In time for something you ain't do. He said, I took the rap for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail, and I never wanted Megan to get hurt or anything, so in me stopping her from getting shot, I got the raw deal. Crazy how life works. And to think they made me the poster boy for the unprotection of black women when in all honesty, I protected 2 black women, one from getting shot and one from going to jail. Never said nothing in 8 to 10 years for them to live. It's a crazy, crazy place we live in. I said, but why you ain't just say that? Nigga, when I got shot, I told. And he said, I lost my mother at 11 years old. I couldn't sleep with myself. I was the reason for taking a mother away from her kid. I just couldn't do it. Tory Lanez.
He's better than me.
And again, I truly believe if Tory Lanez is innocent, he should be freed and he should be compensated for time that he was wrongly convicted. But I also believe the person who pulled the trigger, that person should go to jail. And if Meg conspired to set him up and lie on him, of course she should do time. But I'm saying if the person did lie intentionally and set the other person up, she should go to jail.
So as you can see, this case is heating up. I know, yeah, it's about to go down. Meg online crashing out, and she just shaking in her boots. I can tell she is, her and her friend Kelsey. There's something real fishy about this case, a lot of funny business, and I think they're about to get to the bottom of it. But if that man is not guilty, free Tory Lanez. But I got some more footage I want y'all to check out that's dealing with this case. It entails a little bit more about what's going on or what went on. This woman from Florida, Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman, she got a lot to say. And she's speaking on Tory's behalf because she think that this was an injustice done to him. But let's dive into it.
2022, singer, rapper Tory Lanez, convicted of shooting performer Megan Thee Stallion after a party at the Hollywood Hills home of Kylie Jenner. Here's the story. They're at the party. After the party, they get into an argument. Lanez tells Megan Thee Stallion, dance, and shoots at her feet like a cowboy movie, hits her. Proof? Testimony of Megan Thee Stallion, her friend Kelsey Harris, and DNA evidence on the weapon that convinced jurors to convict. Pretty simple, right? Maybe not. Turns out that DNA, only a 0.01% chance that the DNA is from Lanez. He's always maintained his innocence. He was sentenced to 10 years, so this is really about the testimony. Lanez, so what happens? So he goes away, recently stabbed 14 times in prison. Many say it was a hit, okay? Because new evidence is about to come out. All right, a little conspiratorial, but he was definitely stabbed.
Now, basically what happened, what he's explaining is after the New York Post came and questioned Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey and the security guard who's speaking out now, 3 days later, Tory was hit. But let's get back into it.
Supporters believe that the media doesn't care because Megan Thee Stallion is represented by Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Now, I could give a damn about Jay-Z or his company. This just wasn't a case on my radar until now. Why? Anna Paulina Luna.
Well, goddamn, I guess Chris Como ain't too fond of Jay-Z or Rock Nation, huh?
She says she's got new evidence, says it wasn't him. And she joins us now. Representative APL, it's good to have
So here's the new evidence right here. Check this out.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be back on. And thanks for taking a look at this case.
No, listen, you tell me to take a look at it, I'll look at it. But why did you look at it? I mean, this isn't your jurisdiction. I don't know you to have any connection to any of these people.
Yeah, so as you know, we are on oversight and accountability. And so this case was actually initially flagged for me by Amber Rose. And the reason why I took particular interest in it is because of the fact that they actually had evidence that they presented to me in my office that actually disproved the conviction. So as you stated earlier, that 0.01% of DNA, they actually found 4 people's DNA on that firearm, none of which was Tory's. Not to mention there were 0 fingerprints on the actual magazine. And also too, as you said, 0.01% chance. I mean, that evidence in itself should pretty much speak for itself. Also, there's been ring footage that's been obtained that actually disproves the whole dance Megan. And so what we're saying is really there was a case of he said, she said. The evidence wasn't actually respected and properly adhered to actually in the trial. And then they also were doing something that I would find pretty wild and egregious. They're actually submitting his lyrics for rap as evidence to the crime. So look, first and foremost, you have to have a free and fair society. That means we need to respect and uphold the justice system. So I actually reached out today to Gavin Newsom's office, and we are requesting an emergency meeting. We're also working with other Democrats, specifically to the California delegation. But I think that this is something that's pretty egregious, that the way that this was handled, the way that it was. I think that it was largely driven by headlines. And aside from the people involved and the parties involved, obviously I take domestic violence, I take this very seriously, Chris, but I also take very seriously the fact that I do believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that Tory's innocent. And I think that it sets a really bad message when you have someone of his stature and also to someone that is as influential as he is that's being wrongfully incarcerated. And that's exactly why we wanted to use our megaphone for a good reason and help get him his pardon, which I think he'll get.
So Luna, who did it? I mean, she says and her friends say that he did it. And who else would have done it? And what proof do you have to support that? I get it. Maybe they didn't make the case the right way with the weapon, but who did it?
You know, Chris, that's not for me to weigh in, and that's definitely for the judge and the jury. But what I will tell you is based on the evidence that we have, the evidence that we have says that he wasn't the guy. And so I do think that Gavin Newsom has some great attorneys that will look at this, but I'd also like to point out that the prosecutor specifically on this case that initially brought the charges is a very interesting prosecutor. Look into who ran him.
The person she's speaking about is this guy, Georgie Porgy Puddin' Pie, Jorge Gascon himself. Yep.
And at the end of the day, you know, I think Hollywood, as you know, Chris, and politics does overlap, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that happened there. So look at the evidence for yourself. We've posted it for the entire world to see, to determine for themselves. And I know that Tory's legal team actually has an incredible case. And so we are calling on Gavin Newsom to issue that pardon immediately. And also remember, he was almost killed in jail. I actually talked to him today on the phone, and he said that once he does get out, once he does get this pardon, which I do feel confident that he'll be getting, he's going to work extensively in prison reform, because this should never happen to anyone.
Yeah, happens all the time, though. A total miscarriage of justice. If he was tried unjustly, then this is horrible. Tory Lanez went to prison and has been there for almost 2 years, and he almost died there. On top of taking time for something he didn't do. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation between Kelsey, Tory, and Meg Thee Stallion. Get down in the comments section. Leave a comment. Do you think Gavin Newsom is going to grant him a pardon? Or he should just stay in prison? Do you think Meg got shot by a homegirl, Kelsey? With all the new evidence that's been found, I think he's innocent. But that's just me. But anyways, get down in the comments section, leave a comment. And hit that like button for me. It don't cost you nothing. And if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. Until next time.